Have you ever been traveling and wondered, what would happen if I stick my thumb up? Who would pick me up? Where are they going? Where would I now be going? Would I be safe? Who the fuck are these people picking me up? Hitchhiking is one of my favorite ways to travel. I love the freedom you get. It definitely helps a little bit on the budget, and you don't have to stick to any timetable. Plus, there's a good chance the people picking you up are locals. So if you have a strong sense of adventure and would like to try out hitchhiking, good luck, have fun, stay safe, and here are some tips for you. Hitchhiking used to be very common in the United States and all over the world, and something shifted. And I would love to bring it back. I think hitchhiking creates an amazing community where once you get picked up by somebody else, you're gonna pick up more people, and you're just paying it forward and helping out people. And it creates an amazing sense of community. I have both been picked up by people, and we have given rides to people who were in need. I couldn't find a comprehensive list of countries where it's legal or illegal, so you're gonna need to look it up. For people who wanna hitchhike in the United States, it is legal federally, but of course some states have outlawed it. So New York, New Jersey, Wyoming, and a few more have outlawed hitchhiking entirely. You're also gonna wanna be careful depending on what part of the country you're in. Right? So if you're in a tourist heavy place where it's common to hitchhike, that's okay, and I'd be perfectly happy to take the risk. But if it isn't as common and you're in a dangerous section, maybe don't hitchhike and look for bus schedules instead. I've been hitchhiking only as a backpacker, and the benefit of hitchhiking as a backpacker is that you don't get viewed as a threat. You have this massive backpack, people know why you're there, especially if you're trying to hitchhike in tourist central places where it is common to hitchhike, people are much more likely to pull over for you because they know you're not going to be a threat. As a backpacker, it's really beneficial that a lot of people who tend to pick you up are locals, and they'll have so much knowledge about the area you're in. It is helpful to speak the local language, especially because they might not speak English or whatever your home language is, and you'd be able to say exactly where you want to go. They'll be able to tell you where they're going to drop you off, and just to have a conversation flow so you get to know the people who are picking you up, amazing. Oftentimes, the locals who pick me up are so nice. When I was in Argentina, I got picked up by these two girls. There were two other people in the car with me who were also hitchhikers. We were 5 of us, and they kept passing mate around. I mean, it was just so chill. It was so cool. I mean, it's just nice to be able to share experiences with people, especially as a solo traveler. They also happen to speak English, which was great. But being able to communicate where's a good spot for them to let you out at and where you're going to. If you're feeling uncomfortable hitchhiking for the first time, and you have friends you're traveling with, it might be nice to hitchhike with a friend, 1 or 2. More than 3 people can be very difficult to find a ride because just not that many people are going to have space for 4 or 5 people in their car, plus whoever's in there already. Even with only 2 people, sometimes I've had difficulty trying to find rides. I would say being comfortable is the most important thing. So if you feel uncomfortable hitchhiking by yourself, bringing a friend could be amazing. Another thing that's really helpful is you make a sign. It makes you more visible. People will be able to see where you're going to. And it doesn't have to be the greatest sign, right? I scratched out something in a notepad and showed it up for people, and someone stopped by. After waiting 20 minutes before the sign, I only had to wait 5 minutes after I made the sign. It's a very clear indicator of where you're trying to go to, and it provides a destination. So if people know they're headed in that direction, well, they'll know how far you're trying to go now, and they'll know where would be a good spot for you to drop them off at, and they'll take you sometimes as far as they can. When you're trying to hitchhike, you want to stand in an area that's usually a long straightaway that's visible from a distance. Right? People want to be able to make up their mind and come to a stop. You want to see them and have them pull over. You want to make sure you're standing a little bit off the road. Yes, it might seem like it's harder to see you if you're standing a little bit off the road. However, you don't want to get run over by a car. I feel like that's worse than not being seen, at least in my opinion. Other good spots people say are like turn-ons to highways, lights sometimes could be good, traffic signals. But you don't want to be on a major roadway where people are going fast and won't have time to see you. You want to make sure that drivers are capable of seeing you from a distance and are able to stop safely to pick you up. The most important thing you can have while trying to hitchhike is patience. There have been times where I've been out there for 5 minutes. Sometimes I was out there for 3, 4 hours. One time I gave up when nobody picked me up. Actually, twice I gave up. Once in Iceland, once in Patagonia. Because it was hot. And it was about to get dark, and I needed to figure out where to sleep. But also, I was starting to lose my mind.
What the actual fuck? This other guy got picked up in like 5
nothing
minutes.
Except standing on the side of the road, waiting for cars to come back and past. And every time a car would come past, I'd be like, please, 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 pick me pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. And they would keep passing by. And is dejected. However, I didn't have a sign. There's always a plan B. And you don't want to lose it, because then you're just going to be hostile when you get into that car. I mean, you'd be overjoyed with gratitude too, but patience is important. You don't want to go crazy. You can ask drivers at gas stations. You can literally wait in gas stations and be like, hey, where are you heading to? Could you take me there? It takes a lot of confidence, probably be told a lot of times no, but it might be easier than standing on the side of the road. And also in gas stations, you can ask truck drivers, and truck drivers go much farther than your average driver. Plus, they're oftentimes looking for company. Check the legality, because in Argentina, truck drivers can't pick you up. So they won't pick you up off the side of the road. But sometimes they'll help you at gas stations. And you're gonna have to get there early in the morning, because most trucks get an early start. Sometimes, if you're in an area where it's common to hitchhike, you gotta get there early to beat other hitchhikers to the spot, especially if you're in a tourist attraction or if you're trying to go on a common route. People will pick you up, but you don't want to be 10th in line. Sometimes buses will stop by and pick you up. Of course, you're going to have to pay for a bus ticket. You can buy one oftentimes from the bus driver, so worst case scenario, you're going to be out there for a certain amount of time and no more. So if you're wondering what's going to happen if I'm standing out there all day, well, here's a solution. At a certain point, you can go to the bus terminal. Always be flexible. This is the same thing with going to the bus terminal afterwards. You don't have to only hitchhike, right? There's other opportunities. If it's your only means, it's going to be difficult, and you're really at the mercy of the people picking you up. And I wish you the best of luck. But think of other ways to get to your destination as well. You don't want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere. Along with not being stranded in the middle of nowhere, I like to hitchhike near towns, right? I'm not going to go and get a ride from someone who can't take me at least to a place where I will feel comfortable sleeping. I don't want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere. If someone will pick me up and can only take me to the next town, great. I will take the ride to the next town. They will drop me off, hopefully at the end of town, or I'll walk to the end of town and I'll try again. And if I don't find a ride for the rest of the day, I will go back to the town, find a place to sleep, either a campsite or a hostel. You should stock up on some food, especially if you plan on camping, if you're in a not very populated area. You don't want to be without food. Now, I overpacked. I brought tons of stuff, and it turns out I was stopping in a town every night because I really was scared of being in the middle of nowhere. Do whatever makes yourself feel the most comfortable. If you're traveling on a schedule, hitchhiking is not for you, or give yourself a certain amount of time to hitchhike and then be like, okay, I tried my best, here's the bus. Because there is no guarantee anybody's gonna pick you up. However, I love hitchhiking. I think it's one of the best things. I think it's a way you can grow. It's a way to meet locals, learn more about a place, learn about certain customs. It's difficult to meet locals sometimes when you're traveling. So if you have a sense for adventure, try it out. Good luck, stay safe, have fun, and, comment your hitchhiking experiences. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, @GoWithGoo. Subscribe for notifications. I'm going to be posting travel tips, different things from the past, places that I've traveled. I'm going to be going to Brazil next year, so how am I going to do that? What gear am I going to bring? I have to get new gear. And then I'm going to be repurposing videos that I've put out previously and I'm trying to improve. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Happy travels. Have a great night.